I never originally thought I was going to go the financial route. I mean, I was always good at math growing up, but I was drawn more towards storytelling. And as I kind of went through my journey, I kind of realized that there was a pathway to, accounting's the language of business. So if you can understand that language, you can make your business tell whatever story you ultimately dream of it telling.
Hey, law firm owners, welcome to another video by Cardigan Marketing. My name is Ashley. I'm the CEO and founder of Cardigan Marketing. Now, today we are talking to Brian Zapf of Flight Financial. So Flight Financial provides outsourced CFO services exclusively for law firms. Today is a conversation that you should pay attention to because it's going to help you build a law firm that is more profitable. Do you want to sell your law firm one day? Brian's going to talk about that. He's going to talk about the numbers that you need to be paying attention to. He's going to talk about for every marketing dollar, what should you expect your ROI? There's a lot of contradicting numbers out there. So let's hear it from a financial side. And he's also going to talk about what should your marketing budget be from a financial side, what he advises his clients. Hey, if you're looking to grow your law firm, this is the percent you should be putting into your marketing budget. So again, if you are a law firm owner, I believe you're going to find today's conversation valuable with Brian Zapf. Brian, how are you? Thanks for joining me today.
Hey, Ashley, it's great to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you here. I think our audience is going to enjoy what you have to say. They're going to learn what you have to say. So tell everyone who you are and what do you do?
Sure. So I am the founder and chief CFO of Flight Financial, and we're a fractional CFO firm that helps law firm owners turn their stressful, firms that are kind of chaotic jobs into well-oiled financial machines that help them have the impact and the lifestyle that they want.
Cool. So only work with law firms and only in the financial arena. So you're pretty tight in what you do. Tell me, if I'm a small law firm owner, I'm a single solo practitioner, or I'm a member of 5 partners or less, tell me from both sides, what do you do for me? What does that look like?
Sure. So if you're a single practitioner or a small firm, it really kind of depends on what your goals are. Like if you're happy with your business as is, we're probably not the right fit for you. But if you've got visions of adding additional, partners or attorneys or paralegals or staff and growing your firm into more of a turnkey asset that can function without your day-to-day involvement, then we can definitely help you put together a financial plan to do that. I would say really our sweet spot, though, is with firms who already probably have, at least I would say probably 3 partners, maybe a couple of associate attorneys, some other staff to work with. Probably at the low end, probably 5 people, but more, I would say we're in probably that 10 to 50 kind of people on the team range is where we really operate.
What if I'm wanting to eventually sell my firm? Is that something that you can come in and you can help me set it up for success? And then if the answer of that is yes, what is the sweet spot of wanting me to contact you? How many years in advance until I'm wanting to sell?
That's a great question. And yeah, we do have a lot of experience with mergers and acquisitions. So, and that's one of the things that sets us apart from other financial firms is that we are looking at your firm holistically with the end in mind. And, maybe you don't want to sell today, or maybe selling's not on your radar, but it still pays to have a firm that can operate without you and is eventually a sellable asset. So, when we sign up with you and kind of figure out what your goals are and put together a plan in place, part of that plan is how do we make the firm be able to run smoothly without you and be an asset that would be attractive to, a potential third-party investor. And maybe that's another lawyer who wants to, or another law firm that wants to expand, and they think acquisitions is a way to do it. There's also been a lot of talk around potentially allowing non-lawyers to own law firms eventually. So that could also be an option too. And I would say it pays you to prepare, right? So when I went back in my old days when I was solely focused on doing mergers and acquisitions, we'd get clients coming to us and they wanted to sell in the next 3 to 6 months. And if your books are a mess or you don't have the right kind of financial trend, it's very hard to tell a compelling story that an investor wants to hear. So I would say at least kind of 2 to 3 years, if you're already thinking of selling your firm, is a great time to reach out. But really, it's like it's like going to the doctor, right? It's like by the time you're going in and you're already feeling pain, that's probably not the most optimal time. So it's great to kind of get in that financial habit of working with a financial professional on a monthly basis.
How did you get into this world, into the finance world, and then legally into the finance world? What took you here?
I never originally thought I was going to go the financial route. I mean, I was always good at math growing up, but I was drawn more towards storytelling. And as I kind of went through my journey, I kind of realized that there was a pathway to, accounting's the language of business. So if you can understand that language, you can make your business tell whatever story you ultimately dream of it telling. But before I launched my firm, it was like I was doing kind of an apprenticeship. I worked with a lot of large Fortune 500 companies. I did kind of hands-on operational accounting and finance work. I did a lot of, mergers and acquisition advisory, helping either startups or smaller firm owners be able to sell their firms for, $5, $10, $50, $100 million plus. So I had a pretty wide range of experience, and I kind of realized, I would say COVID was really what got my mind thinking that, okay, you know what, the technology is coming along where I could do what I do for these larger companies, but I could do it for myself, and I could help fellow professionals who, they want to carve their own path and have their own firm. I could help them do what they do best and have that peace of mind that their financial kind of future is taken care of.
Okay, Brian, I'm going to ask you a difficult question. If I'm a law firm owner and I come to you and say, hey, give me the elevator pitch version of what numbers matter when it comes to selling my law firm. Is it gross revenue? Is it net profits? What is it? Could you give me that 2-minute, 1-minute spill on what numbers matter when it comes to selling my law firm?
Sure. And if we're specifically focused on selling the firm, gross revenue is definitely an important number to look at. I would say more recently, we're seeing a lot of investors also look at, sellers' discretionary earnings, which is kind of an EBITDA light. And EBITDA stands for earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. So in other words, it's kind of a proxy for what is the operating cash flow for your business. And then some investors too are looking at profit as well. But as a lot of firm owners know, profit on paper is not always the same thing as cash in the bank.
Good answer. That's quick, easy, and helps me understand as the law firm owner, right? I shouldn't say good answer. That is the answer, but it was to the point of helping me understand. So these are the numbers I need to be tracking. Where does profitability come into that? Where does profitability play into that?
Yeah. So, I mean, and profitability is really the money that you're keeping from what comes in after you've paid what it costs you to deliver, on your service, and after you've paid any other operating costs that your firm might have, right? Like your office space or other administrative staff. And then beyond that, it also depends on, so that's profit, but really kind of what firm owners often care about is kind of what's the cash in the bank or the cash in my pocket, because you can have a highly profitable firm, but still go out of business if you don't have cash to meet your obligations. So then it's really looking at, how quickly are you collecting from your clients, right? Do you have a timely invoicing and collection process? And that's a pain point that I see with a lot of law firms. So that's one thing. Are you investing in other things? Are you investing in kind of building out your facility? That eats up a lot of cash too, potentially. And then I know debt can be a dirty word, but it really is a tool. And sometimes it pays to have, a line of credit or access to debt that you could draw down in a pinch if you needed to.
Tell me why it's better to have your services, or if I have, what I'm thinking here is if I'm a law firm owner, if I say, okay, I've either got to have a bookkeeper or I've got to have a CFO. When and where should I have you versus a bookkeeper, or having both? How do you work with a bookkeeper? What's that look like?
Yeah, I would say the first thing you need, and it depends on kind of the size of the firm and the complexity as well, but you definitely need a good bookkeeper. Like, you as the firm owner, you shouldn't be getting in the weeds of your books or having somebody who doesn't have a financial background do your bookkeeping. So I would have the bookkeeping piece dialed in first, and you can either do that. There's a lot of great independent bookkeepers, and my firm can work well with them, or I can help you out. We've got team members who can do that in-house as well. But I would say that a bookkeeper is great at kind of telling you where your firm has been, right? Looking backwards. But if you want to figure out the path forward for where your firm is going, that's when you really need a fractional CFO like myself and my firm, because we'll help you put together that plan, that kind of actionable monthly plan, and then the forward-looking kind of 3 to 5 year plan for where your firm wants to go and what you need to do on a monthly basis to make that happen.
Tell me, Brian, how your firm and how your company can come into a law firm and help them actually better their marketing. How you and I can work together, my company and your company. How do you do that for a law firm?
That's a great question, Ashley. And I work really well with marketing experts like yourself, because I can look at your profit and loss statement for your firm and pretty quickly see if you're investing enough in marketing. As a rule of thumb, if you want to grow your revenue, right, the money that's coming into your business, you really should be investing between 8 to 12% of your gross revenue in doing that, because otherwise, where is that extra revenue going to come from, right? It doesn't just magically happen. You have to be intentional about it.
Preach. You and I talked about this before, right? It seems self-serving if I tell someone, hey, you should be spending between 8 and 12%, but it's true. And if you're a bigger firm, you might not need to be spending that much, but you can't expect to grow if you're not willing to invest. You can't expect to lose weight unless you're willing to invest the time, stop eating as much, reduce calories, work out, whatever it may be. It's you get what you pay for. And so you do have to pay to play. And again, that we ask these questions a lot when we're talking to our clients of, I want to know how quickly you're trying to grow, because that's going to help me be honest and forthcoming with you of, oh, you're only trying to grow 20% year over year. Okay, cool. Got it. I know exactly what you need. Or you're trying to double your gross revenue. I was just on a call with someone who's trying to go from 800 gross this year. She's a solo practitioner. This coming year, she's trying to do 1.6, nail on the head, double. You can do it, but you've got to invest in your infrastructure. You've got to invest in marketing. So that's so helpful to know that you say that. And like you said, you and I, our companies work really well together. We want someone holding us accountable and saying, hey, how much is my marketing producing? Just like we want to hold our clients accountable. Tell me, Brian, what is the metric that you use for marketing? For every dollar I invest in marketing, what should it be producing for my law firm?
Yeah, and I would say in general, you would want it to at least be producing a kind of 3x return on the low end. And there's a lot of marketing agencies, who can get you more than that, but you want to at least be setting that as kind of a minimum return on investment for your firm. And there's different ways to look at it, but really you want to be looking at kind of marketing as like a funnel, right? So you want to be looking at what are the leads coming in, what are the quality of those leads, how many of those leads are we converting, and then are we kind of getting the dollar return on our marketing that we're expecting?
How are your clients paying you? What is that fee structure? Are you on a retainer? Is it a year-long agreement? What does that look like?
Yeah, so I do month-to-month agreements. I don't want to tie anybody in. If I can at least get them, at least a 3x return on kind of what they're investing in my services, and really higher than that, actually. If I can't get them a higher return, it doesn't make sense to keep working together. And it's just a flat monthly fee. So they have that transparency and they know what their monthly investment's going to be and they know what they're getting for that money each month.
That's great. I mean, that's such an easy come in, try it. If it doesn't work, you're not tied to any long commitment. You said earlier, you said something about you see this is a common thing you see of just not having your finances buttoned up. What would be a few things that you see 8 out of 10 times peeking behind the curtains of a law firm, a few things that are out of order or need to be adjusted? What is that?
I mean, I would say probably the biggest thing is just, people costs, right? Law firms are essentially a people business. That's usually their largest expense. So it's really looking at, as a percentage of your total revenue, how much are you spending on all your people? And ideally, you want that to cap out at kind of 40, maybe 45% all in, right? So that's accounting not just for base salaries and wages, but also for the payroll taxes that you pay your attorneys or your people as an employer. Accounts for any benefits you're paying, any origination commissions or bonuses is generally around 40%. So I would say that's probably the biggest one. And then I would say not having clarity around your cash flow and knowing kind of how much cash is coming into the bank, how much is going out, and kind of the timing of those items is another. And then just being able, a lot of firms, and there's different schools of thought, don't necessarily track their cost of sales. And it really kind of depends on the firm, but your cost of sales is what it costs you to deliver on your services to clients. So if you are tracking that metric, that helps us understand, are you pricing your services, sufficiently? And a lot of times firms are underpricing and they should probably be raising their rates, or maybe their team doesn't have enough clarity or enough support and processes in place to do their role efficiently. So there's a lot of things that come out when we start looking under the hood of a firm.
Yeah, when you start to look into the profitability side of it, there's so many layers of that onion you have to peel back. So you'll even get in with a firm and look at how much profit they're making per case, or you can help them determine if their hourly rate should be increased, or you can help them determine their pricing structure?
Yeah, exactly. Like we'll look at kind of what's what for kind of each attorney or the paralegals, how much are they billing out for the firm? What are they costing the firm? And then kind of what is the profitability on each attorney or paralegal or other team member that the firm's realizing? And then based off of that, we know, do we need to raise the rates that we're billing certain people out? Maybe we need to focus the type of caseload. Maybe, because if you're a firm that's trying to do everything under the sun, it's very hard to build processes around that, and it's very hard to scale. So it's better to be really good at a few things than kind of so at everything.
The riches are in the niches.
Very true.
Yeah. Brian, thank you so much for your time today. Is there anything I didn't ask you that you feel like would be important for a law firm owner who's on the cusp of contacting someone like you? What did I not ask you that would be helpful for them to know?
Yeah, I think your questions were great. I think maybe the only thing that I would add is that, if you're a law firm owner and you're feeling stressed or overworked, or you don't feel like you know where your money's going, or you want help figuring out how to reach your financial goals and have the lifestyle you want, reach out to me. I offer a free, financial strategy consultation, and we'll take a look at where you are and we'll see what's holding you back and some opportunities to get you where you want to go.
Very helpful. Brian, thank you so much for your time. Again, I think this quick conversation could be altering in a dramatic way for law firm owners if they will implement your practices and your services. So thank you for your time today. I enjoyed talking to you.
Thanks, Ashley. Likewise.